LeBron James breaking the scoring record.
Oh yeah, this wasn't when I brought up first. If I didn't bring up Mitchell first, I was going to bring up LeBron first because this is also on my list. It has to be. It has to be.
I think is this the biggest regular season moment of the year? I think it is. Just in the NBA, regardless of who you are. Yeah,
I mean, it's a historic moment. It is the most historic thing that we've seen anybody do, right? Like we've never seen obviously anyone score this many points for this long on this stage. The history of it, the moment of like everyone was watching it. It felt like you could tell how much it meant to LeBron. Obviously, like they didn't win the game, and that was like a little weird. And there's Russ stuff with it, and all this was weird. But this was such a. This is something that we will in our lifetimes, Brendon, probably never see replicated. We're never gonna.
Well, that's where I wanted to go with it. Is that moment to me was a reminder of how the longevity that he's been able to have. I think we just the LeBron's a robot, never getting hurt, all that. The LeBron James of feet with the ruptured tendon that he apparently had this past season right now that we're in, and all those kinds of things get plenty of attention, like obviously. But, he's in his late 30s still as one of the best players in the NBA and making us all kind of, nervous of what he might do in the West this year. But when you really just take a step back and you look at the number of points, and I think to me, Chris, honestly, especially how far anyone else is from him, some of the players who we associate with being the best scorers playing in the league right now, or even just some of the best that have already retired, whatever it is, and you just think how far away they are. Like Carmelo Anthony, not probably ever going to play in the NBA again. He's more than 10,000 points away from LeBron. Kevin Durant is 13th on the all-time scoring list. He's almost 12,000 points from LeBron James. Like you said, I'm not sure we will ever... I don't know if anyone in the league right now is going to threaten this record. That's how high up the standard is that he's set. Like people have talked about, okay, Luka could do it, or, whoever you want to throw out there. It's always going to be a long shot. Like this is one of those sports records that it's just going to hold up. It's so difficult to be that great for that long. And it was a cool way to get to appreciate that, I guess, for me, because there's a lot of nits to pick with LeBron and changing teams and the Lakers jokes and memes and whatever you want to point to. But this was just a moment to kind of be like, wow, like that guy has done amazing things for damn near 2 decades in his sport.
Well, and you don't often get moments where we're actually appreciating the history as it happens, like Kareem being there. The spectacle that it felt like, right? Like just everything about that night. In reading about it and the reporting around it, and it's just some of the things that we saw that night, it just felt like a one-of-one kind of night. Like we're never gonna see like anything I think like that again. We just are not. And like there's gonna be other guys that score a lot of points. There are guys in the league right now that I think surely will continue to score a lot of points and get in the top 10 or something like that. But the longevity for him to meet expectations, right? Like. This is like another thing where this guy somehow has just never not met expectations in what he's doing. And for him to hit this, it's just like, oh, I'm not even the greatest. You don't consider me having a bag. And how much he talked about that. Like I've read that Zach Lowe piece where he talked to Zach Lowe about his moves. And like him being like, oh, you don't think I have a bag. Well, like I actually do have this deep bag of tricks. And there's never going to be something quite like that ever again. I don't like, even if there's historical moments, even if there's another big LeBron thing in whatever his last year might be, I don't think that singular night can ever be recreated.
So bizarre too with the montage thing that they played in real time, and then everybody had to get back on the court and play basketball again. And you mentioned the Russ Darvin Ham fallout and whatever. It was simultaneously cool, surreal, and a little extra, but in the right kind of way, I think. But just like, unforgettable for sure on all sides. And I think the thing probably above all else with how weird this regular season has been, how few big games there have been, I think that's that moment, that night, that game. Those are going to be the things that I think people associate with this regular season. We'll see what the playoffs bring, but it was very cool.